Bet. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this today. We're going to go ahead. Oh, I don't even have nothing pop up right now. Give me a second. Let's go. All right, cool. All right, guys. Let me see. I got something in the chat. Guys, if you guys have any questions at any time, feel free to unmute desktop. I'm on my laptop and my tablet, and sometimes the comments lag on the tablet. So make sure you guys are unmuting. It'll make the call that much better. No one's going to be waiting. Am I tripping? What the heck just happened? Let me see. Totally confused right now. All right, let's go. Bet. Let's get this out the way. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go to the dollar. I mean, the dollar did its thing. It did what it was supposed to do, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the US dollar. We are already talking about shorts from way up here, and obviously the dollar did its thing. Now, I know a lot of people are looking for buys in this area, and I personally just didn't like that for myself. I just saw a ton of liquidity here, and there were fresh starting points that have not been tapped into. So I was looking for this market to be liquidated pretty much, and that's pretty much what it did, right? But at the same time, right, we were expecting the market to continue to drop, right? But last week, the market was literally up here still, right? The market was literally up here still, right? So we could have capitalized on this massive drop. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna delete that for the visual because I don't want too much stuff on my chart. Now let's go ahead and dive in, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and just erase this stuff. All right, guys. So let's back up one time. Let's go to the daily time frame. Now we talked about the market last week right here, right? We would have wanted the market to continue up just a bit higher to give us some sell opportunities, but it never went that high. And the market actually gave us an opportunity here, right? So let's drop down and just cover that one more time real quick, because the same thing happens again in this area. So guys, anytime we're waiting for a zone, right? Anytime we're waiting for a zone, let's just say we're waiting for zones. We're waiting for a zone right here, right? But at the same time, even though we're waiting for sales in this area, the market doesn't have to go there right away, right? The market could definitely do what it's supposed to do. It can come up, and as soon as it gives us this confirmation, this change of character right here, the market is telling us it wants to start heading down now, right? So what I like to do is I like to take opportunities as they come. Yes, I'm gonna keep it in mind in the back of my mind. I would love for the market to come back up here, right? But as soon as the market gives me that break of structure and this change of character right here, guys, I need to listen to the market. I need to listen to the market because the market likes to leave zones, right? We have a break of structure here and we have a change of character here. Once we get this sign right here, guys, I want to go ahead and continue to take some shorts, right? If the market can give me this sell opportunity and continue that downtrend, I would love that, right? I want to take opportunities as they come. If the market wants to go ahead and hit my stop loss, hey, it is what it is. We're going to use our risk to reward because I wanted to come up here anyways. So if the market wants to come give me an entry opportunity, let's go ahead and take that. And if the market continues to change character, then we were obviously right on this zone, and let's go ahead and continue the shorts. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense, because the market loves to leave zones behind, right? And it's going to leave a zone, and then you're going to say, yo, it's too far. It's never going to come back there. And then before you know it, right? Before you know it, news is going to hit some type of big news event or some type of news like the tariffs, right? And it's going to go ahead and just spike up, give you that opportunity, and then the market's going to go ahead and continue that downtrend, right? So never think, guys, never think the market is too far. Just stay ready, set your alerts, and listen to the current market. If this is what current market is saying, then let's go ahead and see if we can take a sell opportunity, right? Let's go ahead and see if we can take a sell opportunity. So with that being said, let's go back over here. So we knew that we were looking for sells, right? I would have liked my first entry opportunity right here, but the market never makes it that high, right? And that's okay. What do we do as traders? All we can do is mark up, right? All we can do is mark up. So let's get this out the way real quick. Let's get this market going. We can see we have a break of structure to the upside, so let's mark that up. We have a BOS to the upside, and my change of character line would be here. Let's delete this with the visual just to keep everything clean. Now, if the market wants to go ahead and change direction, we finally got that confirmation. Let's start looking for some shorts, right? Now, until that happens, the market can continue going higher. We have one more break of structure. Let's just go ahead and continue moving our lines. We have a break of structure there, and my change of character line is here. All right, let's just go ahead and have this right here. Need change of character for sell opportunity. Now, if the market wants to go ahead and continue and give us this change of character, okay, then the market has now given me this sell confirmation. Let's go ahead and look for some shorts, right? So let's go ahead and see what the market does. Boom. We get that sell confirmation, guys. Let's back it up one more time. We get that sell confirmation. The market is saying, hey, I don't think we want to go up any higher. We're going to go ahead and leave these fresh zones for later, right? We're going to go ahead and leave these fresh zones for later. I don't know when, but we're going to leave it for later. So you have to stay ready. Now let's drop back down to the 1 hour, 4 hour. Cool. So we have the sell confirmation. Let's go ahead and just confirm that, right? It happened. So let's just go ahead and tell ourselves we do have the change of character. Now, there's two ways you can play this, guys, right? There's two ways you can play this. We have a breakout rally. So we have a starting point right here in this section. So for anybody who likes starting point entries, we have a starting point right here. And I like to take both of these guys, like just because I say like whoever likes starting points, whoever likes head and shoulders, like I take both of them because I know I like to take opportunities as they come. All I like have to keep in mind is I'm running my risk to reward, right? I'm running my risk to reward. So notice this, we have a starting point and we also have a head and shoulder. We have left shoulder right here, left shoulder, neckline, the head, and then we get the change of character. As soon as we get this change of character, guys, the head and the shoulder is now confirmed. So if I go ahead and pull out the homie, boom, right? Left shoulder, head, we finally get that change of character. We can now start looking for sells. Now, for me, my left shoulder zone is from the highest wick to the closest body. So if I'm looking at this, I would like to short the dollar in this area with my stop loss at the high. With the minimum 1 to 3. Now, obviously, maybe you're not trading. If you're trading Forex, you know, you're probably not trading the dollar. But if you're trading futures, you're possibly trading the dollar, right? There's different things that you can trade, right? But check me out, guys. This is what we're getting, right? This is what we would like to see. We would like to see the market come back into this zone and give us a sell opportunity and continue with that bearish movement. So let's see if that happens. Market taps my zone, literally taps into that thing. Perfect. Now let's see if it continues to drop. Thing was dropping it like it was hot, my boy. Thing just kept moving. Thing just kept moving. But that's a good thing. That's exactly what we want to see, right? That's exactly what we want to see. And with that, we continue breaking structure to the downside. So if we're on a higher time frame, let's just go back up, right? Notice how we get the break of structure, the BOS confirmation. We have lower low, lower high, and the market break structure giving me a lower low. So this right here, guys, would definitely be a BOS to the downside. Now, anytime we see a BOS to the downside, guys, we should be thinking sell continuations, right? Sell continuations. Now, or continuations in a whole, right? If we're downtrending and we see BOS, to the downside, we should be thinking, let's continue that bearish trend. If we have a BOS to the upside and the market is in an uptrend, we should be thinking, let's go ahead. What does BOS mean? BOS means break of structure. Break of structure, because we had structure here. We had a lower low, lower high, and in order to make a new lower low, the market would have to, it has to break and close below this previous low to make a new low. Does that make sense, Emmanuel? Awesome. Now, when we see a BOS, right, when we're able to see a break of structure, we have to be thinking continuation, right? If the market is in an uptrend and we just made a BOS here, we're looking to continue the trend. BOS here, let's continue that trend. Same thing in a downtrend. If the market was in a downtrend and we keep seeing break of structures, I want to continue looking for some sell opportunities. Break of structure, right? Let's continue to look for a sell opportunity. Break of structure. Let's continue to look for a sell opportunity. Now, this is what we see. We have lower low, lower high, lower low, creating another BOS. Now, we already know the market is heavily bearish right now. And once we see this, this is a sign that we can go ahead and start looking for more shorts with the dollar. You're welcome, bro. Now, this is what I'm seeing. Super easy starting point setup with this, right? We have a 2-candle breakout rally, and this rally was pretty strong because it left a nice imbalance and gap in the market. Now, this is going to be my starting point. So I'm expecting, right, using the starting point strategy, I would love for the market to obviously break structure and make its way up to my sell zone so we can continue these shorts, right? But again, that does not have to happen, guys. Just because I want the market to come this high does not mean it has to come this high. Give me a 5 if that makes sense. Just because I would love the market to come give me a nasty snipe does not mean it has to come this high, right? So what do I have to do? What do I have to do? As the market is continuing to break structure to the upside, I need to mark up my break of structures. Need to. It's important. Break of structure to the upside. Let's go ahead. We'll have my change of character line here. Now, if the market wants to go ahead and continue down now, I would like to see the market break structure so we can look for some more short opportunities. But if the market continues going higher, then we just continue to mark up. Let's go ahead and adjust our lines. Now, if the market wants to go ahead and change character and start heading down now, then we finally got that confirmation and we need to start focusing on the structure in here. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Because this will happen a lot when the market is heavily bearish, right? And it's super strong, whether it's bullish or bearish. When the market is in momentum, this likes to happen a lot right here, where the market will continue to give us the setup and it'll leave this zone for later, right? So let's go ahead. Let's delete this. Let's delete all that good stuff. And we'll hop on a lower time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. So let's go ahead and see what the market is going to give us. We know we're waiting here, right? So as of right now, this is what I see. We have a break of structure to the upside, BOS, and my change of character line would be right here. If the market is ready, right, we have left shoulder, neckline, head. Now, if the market wants to change direction and start heading down, we finally get this out confirmation. Once we break and close below this line, we can start looking for some more shorts. Let's take a look. What happens? We break structure to the upside one more time, right? Cool. I should delete that. We'll just keep everything clean. Now, again, guys, I am waiting at this red box. I would like to take sell opportunities here. But if the market wants to start heading down now, we have left shoulder, neckline, head. If the market makes its way down and breaks and closes below this black line, let's start looking for some short opportunities, right? So let's go ahead and see what the market wants to do. Yeah. Cool. Guys, did we get the confirmation? You guys tell me. Did we get the confirmation we're looking for? Yes. That's what we want to see. That's why it's so important to mark up your charts like this, guys. Don't be lazy. Don't just like set an alert or just I'm gonna check it in 2 hours. Like, no, bro. Mark up your charts and set an alert. Once we get this confirmation here, the market is ready, guys. The market wants to go, right? So how can we look at this? Now, again, there are two ways I like to look at the market with starting points and head and shoulders because they work hand in hand together, right? So right here we have a breakout rally. 1, 2, 3, 4 candle breakout rally. And the last buying candle before that breakout rally is right here. Oops, crazy work. The last buying candle before that breakout rally is right there. So this last buying candle is my starting point for sell opportunities. Right now, when it comes to my left shoulder, guys, this is the highest peak. That's the highest peak. And I only have one BOS right here. So this is going to be my left shoulder. Boom. So this is where we run our risk to reward. Whether you take the starting point or you take the right shoulder, this is your sell zone, right? This is it right here. 1 to 3 risk to reward. Now, again, I know I'm running my risk to reward, guys. I'm willing to take a loss here, right? Because I am seeing my confirmations. And if I end up taking a loss, well, then I know where I want to go ahead and execute next, right here in this area. If you want to wait for extra confirmation, wait for the change of character, and then we can start looking for sales in this area. Does that make sense, guys? So we could shift that market down, right? Because I know sometimes after taking one loss, you're like, bro, I don't even know. I don't even want to enter again right here. I know sometimes people are scared, and I get it. Like, I was too at one point, right? You just took a loss right here. You know in your mind you wanted to take another sell right here. But because you were in your feelings and you got emotional off of one loss, you didn't take the first trade, which would be this. Instead, we wait for that change of character to happen, right? We wait for this change of character to happen and we end up taking sells in this area, which is fine, right? You can wait for that confirmation, but at the end of the day, it's okay, guys. Like you can't be in your feelings because just because you're gonna wait for this confirmation does not mean the market is actually gonna come to you, right? This is what I mean. Let's say you took a loss here. It's okay. It is what it is. You don't take the sell here because you're gonna wait for this confirmation. You're going to wait for this change of character. And then you're gonna go ahead and look to take this sell right here. But what if this is what happens? What if it's a break and retest and then we start to just drop? Wouldn't you be mad at yourself because you didn't take this, because you were emotional, because you took one loss? But you knew in the back of your head, this was the main area you wanted to take. But because you took one loss, you got emotional, you didn't enter anything here, you were waiting for confirmation, which is not a bad thing, right? You can definitely wait for confirmation, but at the same time, guys, just because you want to wait for the confirmation does not mean the market is going to give you that entry. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Cool. Cool. Just to keep in mind, guys, right? Because I've done it all. I've been aggressive. I've waited, and while I was waiting, I'm like, you know what? I should have taken that first area because I know I wanted to, but I was emotional. I realized I got emotional, right? And that's okay. Sometimes it happens, but you also have to be aware, right? You also have to be aware. So this will be my stop loss. Let's go ahead and just take a look what happens. Let's take a look, see how we do. Let's confirm. Cool. Now let's take a look. Market taps into our area and then just dips out. Guys, trust what you're seeing. Trust what you're seeing right here, guys. The market will let you know. That's one thing that I never really understood, and I get it. Like we're all different and we all soak in information different. But if you're able to understand structure, higher highs, higher lows, break a structure, change of character, lower lows, lower highs. If you're able to understand it all and you're able to mark up like this, guys, all you have to do is let the market tell you what's going to happen next. Sometimes we're too aggressive and we want to be the first one in to try to catch that nasty snipe. But honestly, all we have to do is wait, guys. We're either waiting right here, we're standing on business right here, or we're waiting for the market to let us know what they want to do next. Does that make sense, guys? Give me an 8 if that makes sense. Because the last thing I want you guys to do is be shy and timid after seeing this structure and knowing that you want to take opportunities here. Guys, take the opportunities as they come. If you are struggling with emotions and taking a loss, guys, I need you to check out Valentino's bootcamp. He talks about this. He talks about this in depth. How each setup, literally each setup he takes, usually he knows there's a possibility he's taking one loss. Let me break that down, right? We all know I love to trade off the head and shoulder, right? Because it's very, very similar to smart money concepts, right? Now, once we get this break of structure to the upside or this liquidity sweep, I'm going to go ahead and mark it up using levels terminology, right? We have a break of structure. Once we get this change of direction, right, we finally have a sell setup. But this is the thing. This is the thing. My left shoulder is way up here, right? My left shoulder is way up here. But where's my starting point in this example, guys? I know this is a line drawing, but where would my starting point be? Where would you guys think? If this is my breakout rally, where do you think my last buying candle before the breakout rally would be? Anybody want to annotate on my chart? Yes, exactly. My last buying candle would be somewhere in this area, somewhere right here. Why? Because obviously we can see that the market gave us a nice little push up right here, nice little push up. So my last buying candle would probably be somewhere in here before the market drops. So when he's looking at, guys, I need you guys to understand and really take time to like, just be a student and learn. The levels market structure when it comes to head and shoulder goes hand in hand with smart money, right? Goes hand in hand with smart money, right? So when you start to watch these smart money educators, you're going to start to just sharpen this skill and what you know about this structure. That's why I tap into all the smart money educators. I watch Mike Nav, Valentino, right? Siva, Jordan Morgan. I watch them all because I want to understand everything that comes with this structure here. Even though I trade it the most basic way using levels, right? And they're looking at it at a bit more advanced way. I still want to understand it all. That way my bias can be very, very sharp, right? So when I'm watching Valentino's bootcamp, he knows this is an opportunity right here, right? Opportunity number one. And he talks about this in his bootcamp. Opportunity number one, because we don't know what zone the market's going to respect, right? We can only know the structure that we're anticipating the market to respect. That bootcamp was clutch for structure. Yeah, very, very clutch. I recommend anybody to watch it. It's a little bit advanced, right? So if you're new, you're probably not going to understand every video the first time you watch it, which is okay, right? I'm fairly advanced and I had to watch most of those videos like 3 to 4 times just so I can understand it 100%. So guys, take the notes. It's only going to make you better. Like everything you do when it comes to watching boot camps and studying is only going to make you better, right? So he knows we're possibly taking a loss here. And this is the main zone that we all want, right? It's deeper in the structure and it's a way better risk to reward, right? Especially, let's just say that there's liquidity hanging out right here at the bottom, right? We talked about this. We talk about this all the time. I know so does Neri. Liquidity are target points, right? So if we know there's an opportunity here, if the market comes back and respects, obviously we have a target point here that we can go ahead and TP from. But what if the market doesn't respect this and it goes higher? Well, then we just have a better risk to reward. So instead of it being a 1 to 3, it could be a 1 to 4, 1 to 4.5. Does that make sense, guys? We get a better risk to reward because the market ends up going deeper inside of this structure. So if the market does go ahead, give us some profit, guys, this is where you have to have good money management, because what if the market drops, gives you the break even, gives you the partials, and then you know what? It says we're not ready to go down yet. We're going to go ahead and wait, hang out, and touch this. This was either a break even for you, depending on how low it went. It was possibly a partial, or it was honestly just a full on loss. But that's okay, because we know that we have a zone here ready and locked and loaded. So we can go ahead, take this zone, and if the market gives you extra confirmation, we can see if it can give us an entry and continue the bearish momentum. Does that make sense, guys? Does anybody have any questions about this right here? Any questions? Because we don't know, guys. We really, really don't know what the market is going to respect, right? Because I've seen it happen time and time again where I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, this setup looks juicy. I'm waiting right here. And then you know what happens? The market just comes in, taps the starting point, and then it's just gone. It's gone. And it takes off. And it leaves this zone for later. And when it leaves the zone for later, guys, we have no idea when it's going to come back. All we can do is set an alert. How long do you normally wait for pendings to be confirmed? So if you're setting pendings on these, I like to set an alerts. Like, how would I say this? Like if you just set a pending here, make sure you set an alert with that pending, right? That way you can have an alert, say like right here. Right? That's your alert. You already have a pending order. And as soon as the market comes close to that alert, it's going to notify you. That way you can go ahead and get to your desk so you can see everything you need to see to have more confirmation. But for me, if I'm already looking at a play and I see everything I need, like I'm okay. Like I'm just going to set my pendings, set my alerts, and just leave it there to play. I see a similar play happening with EUR AUD. Does that make sense, Emmanuel? Awesome, bro. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, guys, keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and look at that play with EUR AUD real quick, and then we'll go ahead and pass it off to Neri. Where is EUR AUD? Here. Let me go ahead and clear this off. What time frame are you looking at, Tio? You're looking at this? 1 hour? Okay. Okay, yeah, perfect. Love this. You're talking about this setup, right? The structure here?
Yep, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it looks super, super solid. Now look, let's take a look. Why did it respect? Why is it giving us this structure here? We have to look left. We can't just focus on the structure. Look left. What do we see here, guys? Let's break it down. Let's even jump to a higher time frame just so we can see a bit clear, right? Notice how we have a break of structure to the upside, clean BOS, and we have a pretty clean change of character as well. Oops. Pretty clean change of direction as well. So we have a starting point set up. It's giving us a better entry to short. That's what it looks like, right? We have a starting point set up. We see the breakout rally, 2 candle breakout rally. My last buying candle before the breakout is right here. So my starting point would be in this area. It's obviously respected. Now, my left shoulder would be right here. That was also respected. Now, in this example, my starting point and my shoulder are overlapped. Now, when that happens, I like those because I'm just running my risk to reward mainly on one play, and I'm just waiting to see if I get stop loss or if it's going my way. Right? Now, we talked about this multiple times. Once we get stop loss, we have to wait for that candle to close to see what we can do next. But in this example here, everything worked out in our favor, which is great. Now, we have to see, right? Technically, guys, this can be a macro setup. Now, we haven't talked about macro to micro in a pretty good minute. That can be a topic we can cover sometime, probably not, well, probably on Monday. But this right here is a 4-hour setup. So this could be a macro, higher time frame, larger time frame setup. But right here, inside my right shoulder, I want to see the same thing happen again. Almost like a mirror image. Almost like a mirror image, right? Notice this is the big setup I'm seeing. Big setup. Now, as soon as the market makes its way back up to that area, I want to see the same thing. I want to see the same thing right here. Baby image, baby setup right here, guys. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense for you guys. Give me a 2. I want to see the same exact thing, right? That's how we know we're correct. When we get a break of structure and we just continue to get break of structures all the way up to my buy or to my sell zone, break of structure, and then we finally get this change of direction, guys, we were right off of that zone, right? We have another setup that we can take to possibly continue these shorts, right? So let's go ahead and take a look on how this looks here. Now let's drop down to the 1-hour time frame. Boom, perfect, bro. Perfect. Super nice structure, man. Shout out to EURAUD. So we have the breaker structure here. Clear BOS, clear BOS. And then we have the change of character. Now the change of character didn't happen here. This is just a wick. The change of character happened with this breakout rally. So I'm gonna go ahead and label this up. Label that up. Now, again, for me, this is a pretty big starting point, and it's not the nicest looking. So if you would like, you can go ahead and drop down to our lower time frame and see if we can tighten that up to something like this, right? So let's see if we can do that. I like this one. This isn't too bad. That's not too bad at all. Let's go to the 15. Let's see if there's anything. It's pretty much the same, so I'm just going to leave it right there. So then I minimized my starting point from something that looks like this big, right, to that. Now, all we have to do is wait. But that's opportunity number 1. Where would my second opportunity be, guys? Anybody know? Who wants to annotate on my chart? Yes, 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 yes. My left shoulder would be right here. Boom. So again, we have 2 opportunities here. We have opportunity 1 with my stop loss. I would probably put it at this wick just because I know some people might put it right here, but you know, I don't mind a larger stop loss. Whoever drew that yellow line, I would love it if you can delete it, please. Now that's opportunity 1, but I also know there's a second opportunity right here with my stop loss at this high. Right? So me knowing, thank you, I appreciate that. So knowing, right, I know at the end of the day, here's one opportunity that can go my way, but if it doesn't and I hit stop loss, I know that the market, I know that I want to see the market react off of this zone anyways, because it's deeper inside the structure. And if we can get this change of character here, we can start looking to continue these shorts. Does that make sense, guys? Thank you for this example, Tia. This is pretty good example on the spot. Appreciate you, bro. Make sense, guys? No questions, no questions. We're good. All right, bet. All right, bet. Let's go ahead and continue. Because again, I'm a student. What's up, Neri? What's good? So, guys, the next person I want to bring up, man, I've been working with her for at least the last 2.5 years, 2 years pretty closely. We've done a few of these calls now, and every call that we have, she just breaks it down so clean. And it gives me a lot of confidence. Like knowing I trade levels and I mix in a little bit of smart money, like just knowing that I know enough of smart money to combine with my level strategy. The way she just drops that sauce, bro, it just gives me so much confidence to attack the markets, right? So if you're somebody who has been studying and you've been taking this very seriously, whether it's smart money or levels, guys, understand what she's doing. Ask the questions if you don't understand. Why is she doing this? Right? Watch with intent to get better. Watch with intent to get better. And if you're confused at any time, please unmute because I don't think she minds answering some questions on the spot. Right. But with that being said, guys, here's just a little sneak peek. Neri, I want you to drop a little bit of sauce, but not, let them find out some stuff in Miami. You feel me? But with that being said, Neri, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and pass you host. Do your thing, girl.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, drop a number one in the chat for Vinny real quick before anything. We have to make sure that we honestly remember and just give gratitude for the value that he gives. Because remember, guys, a lot of these calls that are being hosted within Powerhouse, these are complimentary calls, right? They really, really let that sink in. Majority of all the information that you learn from, of course, is going to be from the goats of Orin Wright. And then, the reality truth is Vinny can just probably just continue watching Go Live if you really wanted to and just probably go do something else. But the fact on, taking the time on a Friday night, and then as well too for you guys, like, giving you guys as well the time to put some, an hour tonight and really just dive in deep to what it is that you wanted like really better at. It says a lot, right? It says a lot. And that's where it's not a coincidence that it's always the ones that you see in the chats doing the most. It's the ones who actually plug in. And whether you plug in on this call or not, or like any plugging in, like right now, I don't want you to think like, oh, if you don't hop on Vinny, you're not plugged in. Or oh, if you don't hop on my call, you're not plugged in. Like that's not true. What I'm trying to say is the plugging in part, it all goes down and exposes you over the time with the results that, when you're ready to really lock in. And when I look at the participants, we have people like Adrian in the house. We have people like Anthony. We have people like Bavik in the house, Brian, Chris, and then all Chris's, Danny Rodriguez, David. Like we have all these amazing people who officially are now really locking in, people across the whole country who are, really wanting to level up. It is not a coincidence at all, guys. And for the ones that have been in for quite some time, your results are still loading, but it's already done. And I'm not trying to sound like motivational right now. I actually suck at motivating people. I think I'm pretty good at just telling the truth and just how realistic trading is. And however you want to take it, you take it. If it hurts your feelings, then by all means, remember 90% of people actually quit this. Remember that. And if it, anything I say, hopefully no one takes it personal. It's never personal. It's really more so hoping that I can tell the truth, right? Because guys, drop a number 2 in the chat if I can tell the truth, or drop a number 3 if you want me just to sugarcoat and save your feelings, right? I don't want to make no one cry on here, right? Because if that's the case, be like, stop, you're hurting my feelings. I'll stop. No, but full transparency is key. And that's exactly what we do with the Powerhouse. And that's exactly what we do on these back testing calls and even just the collaboration. When I asked Vinny like as well too, and I said, hey bro, let's go ahead and actually, collab together and let's give the people what they want, because next week in a few days, we'll be going to the in-person Traders Lock-in. Now, if you did attend once before at the Traders Lock-in, then you already know that you had a phenomenal experience and you gained a lot of value. And then with that value, you were able to see and experience people's, point of views and meet other traders and things like that. And for those who couldn't make it, no worries. Here's a little bit of a taste of it. And this is where you can really ask yourself a couple questions. What is it the fact that I'm trying to gain myself into this trading space? Of course, we're all going to say, I'm here to make some extra source of money. Of course, I want to gain financial freedom. I want to, duplicate the money that I'm already making into something else, like more streams of income. But guys, you have to remember that for that to happen, you have to do the characteristics and understand the problems or obstacles, better yet said, that it might come with. I think like right now, shout out to a few people that actually am really helping out like in depth with, like there's a focus group that I'm running. And for those that are in the focus group, like they know that I don't sugarcoat anything. And it's not like to like say like damn, she's tough, like, or like she really is so mean to us. Like they can tell you like I'm not mean. It's just really more so I don't take any excuses at all, because nor should you take any excuses, right? And again, whenever we had started this call, I told everybody and I said, look, guys, let's talk about something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, right? Everybody's like, hey, let's get into trading, let's make this happen. Like, let's, motivate people. Like, yes. Like, I was like, no, let's be realistic right now. And let's talk about the things that people like to talk about. And let's be truth. The truth of the matter is this. Every single person, right? And whoever's in this call that's within 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or less than 6 months. Guys, did you know, and my OGs probably know this already, but you guys know like 90% of people quit within your first month, right? You know that. Statistically, you're supposed to quit your first month. Statistically, you're supposed to quit your second month. Statistically, you're supposed to quit your third month. And statistically, if you're about to reach your 1 year 1 year mark, you're supposed to quit as well. Again, you guys told me I can be real on here, right? No sugarcoating. Again, if anybody on here, if this really hurts you, puts you fear into you, by all means, I am not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be so realistic and honest with you. You're probably not meant for trading with this. There, don't say that, right? Don't say that. Hey, I'm gonna say it. That's the truth. So I'm just going based off of numbers. I didn't make this nothing up. I'm only 4 years in. I'm still a baby in this industry, to be transparent. There's people in here that have been for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I'm still a baby in this industry. What do I know? I like, I'm not even trying to like fluff it up. I'm really being honest. What do I know? I don't know enough. I don't. But I do know numbers, and I do know what numbers, they do not lie. Statistically, you're supposed to quit potentially that 1.5 year, because the belief of, is starting to test you. Should you really stick to this? Should you really, continue on to this? Because you haven't made a single dime. Why continue this? You're just wasting time, right? That's the real, these are statistic, things of why people quit, right? But if you actually start to understand that and truly believe, right? And I showed this to everybody inside the focus group call. If this is the money here, right? Because everybody knows, right? Drop a number 2 in the chat if you know you can make money here. And if you don't believe you can make money here, then then you see, I don't know what to tell you, right? Hopefully everybody drops a number 2 in the chat. I'm a big visual person to actually see who drops a number 2. If you don't drop a number 2, then I wonder how I can get you to drop a number 2, because you're too cool for, and that's just the truth. You're probably just too cool. So if everybody believes here that you can make money in here, because that's no problem. Like we all know that. Shout out to Patrick. I see Patrick on the call. This guy, dude, this man, I saw his Instagram stories, and it's phenomenal to see how he desired and he saw that I'm gonna make consistent payouts on whether it's my life, prop firms, whatever the case may be. And now being able to see just multiple figures, 4 figures to be exact, like of him consistently doing that, all because he's seen it and he saw it. He knew the money was there, right? Guys, and I want you to understand this. The money is stuck there. And actually, I'm actually going to write this out for you. We all know that the money's here, But the money, guys, it's in a vault right now. Okay? It's in a vault. And everybody thinks when you walk into trading, right? Here comes my drawings, guys. And if, you know, they, you already know. I feel like I'm getting better with these drawings. I ain't gonna lie. Because I'm like, one day I was like, damn, my person started to look better and better. No, but when you come in this, right? When you come in this, you know, I know everybody knows like it's not like a straight walk or whatever. Like again, I'm not trying to repeat the same thing that we all know. That success is not a straight walk or a straight to the upside. But guys, the money that you're seeking for inside day trading that you want to achieve or the goals that you want to achieve, because at the end of the day, I know we all want to achieve that freedom, you know, learning the charts, you know, making, you know, extra source of income by clicking a button, you know, the things like that. Understand that, you know, if we take Patrick for an example right now, Patrick, again, he shout out to my guy, freaking killing it. Making consistent withdrawals, like, you know, X amount, right? Let's put X amount, you know, and it was multiple times X amount, X amount. Guys, has anybody asked, you know, asked him or asked anybody inside the chat what it took you to get to that point? You know, congratulations. We give the man a trophy because he definitely deserved it. But like transparently, have we ever asked how did it take to get to that point? It wasn't just open up your phone, you click the buy and sell button. You know, I think he can honestly testify to say that it probably took about not one hurdle, not two hurdles, not three hurdles, probably not four hurdles, not five hurdles, not six hurdles. We're talking about maybe it's actually took him about like 9 to 15 hurdles. And have y'all seen those games before? Like, you know, those racing games where people are trying to like, you know, whoever survives the end, you know, they're like having to climb these mountains. There's like a rope and you have to climb yourself up. You make it over the hurdle, but then now you got to come back down and go to the next hurdle and the next hurdle. And these are tall hurdles. Guys, have we ever asked about how many hurdles we had to get to that point? Some of your hurdles, guys, are actually going to be probably less than the person that, you know, you're working alongside. Some people actually have only 3 hurdles. Other people, they have 10 hurdles, 6 hurdles, 1 hurdle. You know, have y'all ever seen those people when they finally come in and like you have been in for like about like probably like 7 months and then someone comes in and like kills it within like 2 months and you're like, bro, come on now. Like I'm really, really trying to make something out of this. And like this person has that like beginner's luck or something, you know, and people can call it the way they want, like beginner's luck. But depending on how many hurdles you have, like, guys, everybody's going to have their own personal hurdle. But I really want you guys to fully comprehend that though. Like, there's a difference in saying, like, yeah, I know, Neri. I kind of have, like, I've heard this once before. I think you're kind of repeating the same thing I know. But then next thing you know, like your training says otherwise, or your attitude says something else, or your activities or your actions say something else. There's a difference from knowing and understanding. There's one thing to say, oh, I know how to lose weight, right? I have a, like, you know, shout out to, I think she's still on here. Shout out to my competitor, right? Where is she at? Is she, oh, she says se fue. Esa Fernanda se fue. But my competitor, if she was on this call, like I'm going against her right now, you know, and I'm glad that I did. You know, we're on this body fat challenge, and and I kept saying this year, like, okay, I'm gonna lose the weight, I'm gonna lose this, I'm gonna lose this. And I knew, like, I knew, like, okay, I know I have to go lose weight, I know I have to work out, but I never truly understood like what it really took. And again, it's just me saying it. I never really understood what it really took. And so that's the difference of understanding, guys, of knowing that know and understand. But you have to know that your hurdles might be a little bit more different from other people, but that shouldn't discourage you. Because at that point, and you know, and again, I talked to Patrick a lot, you know, him and Hilda, from hearing their stories, like these guys had to go through so many hurdles to go over another and another and another and another, another to finally unlock and unleash the vault of the money for him to get to where he's at, you know? And so this is exactly the same thing that you guys have to be aware about, is that these are the hurdles that, you know, you might go through and you might, you know, have, you know, maybe or you're going through it right now. You know, and that's like the biggest thing, because guys, 4 years ago, I did not really learn anything like I know now. And again, I still don't know much like that. It may sound like it, and it may seem like it, and I may talk like it, but the truth is, I don't know much like that, like the educators do. That's the reason why, even if I had like, these X amount of consistent wins, I still decide to educate myself. And even if when I make it to 10 years, because trading is engraved into me, right? Drop a number 2 in the chat if trading is engraved into you. Like, even if you wanted to leave, like, you cannot. Like, it got your ass. Like, you can't run, man. Like, it's like, you can't run. Like, even if you wanted to, that been got like, get your way over here. Like, like it got you chained to like your and it's like a good chain though, and it's like wow, I'm actually glad this is like a good addiction to have. There's certain addiction, like, not Bobbic addiction where, this man was like trading every hour. Now, not that type of addiction, but the addiction to actually wanting to learn, right? The addiction of actually, wanting to consistently, like, implement. And guys, did you know if you actually want to become a better trader, if you actually talk about it to other people, like, I'm not saying like new people, like people in your community already, the people who are like the 49 people that's on here right now. Did you know if you actually just continuously share it with people like in your community and just talk about trades and, just back testing together, you actually advance your trading level a lot more faster and efficient than you think? Well, nah, well, I hear you, Neri, but I think I'm doing pretty good by myself. Like, just my own back testing, of course, like and again, I'm not saying you can't, like, do not quote me on that. I did not say that. What I'm saying is if you actually communicate with your community that you have right here, like, again, that's what I'm talking about right now, you actually get better than you think. And so I thought about it because if you really, 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 really think about it and you start going down the rabbit hole, I was like, okay, we have an X amount of educators on the platform. Why is it the fact that a lot of them, they made their X amount of money? I don't know how much they've made, but let's just say hypothetically, they're X amount of money every single month. Again, like, let's just say that's what they're making. Again, don't quote me. Just assume. But if they're making an X amount every month, and then they're making an X amount already on the side with trading, and they're making an X amount somewhere else, it's like, okay, then why do they want to continue educating people, right? We're all going to say like, because of course they want to help people, best education. But the reality truth is, guys, believe it or not, the students are helping more. Yes, like, and this is what I'm going to really be cautious about to say. Yes, educators are helping us out to educate us because we have the best education in the entire world. But at the same time, you're helping out the educator more than you think. You're helping out the educator more than you think. How? And we can have it again. Chat's open for debate. But this is what I truly believe. I think that we are helping out the educators more than we think, because when educators and whoever you're talking to and you're teaching, who you're speaking to, you hear your own talk when you're doing like, trade talk. You can hear yourself, how your brain is processing this information that you're learning every single day, right? You can just hear yourself communicate. And then you can just understand, okay, this is what I'm actually really learning. This is what I'm really doing. And then when you go back to pre-recordings, of course, like they know, and over time you get better. And I think that's why, and I want to say, and I want to do, and like, say this real quick, guys. I just want to thank Powerhouse in general, every single one of you guys, for the growth that I've had because of you. Because of you guys, I truly believe, I think that I got better because of that reason. Being able to speak it, talk it, and share it, trade it, and do what I do. And that's actually the truth of it. That's, that I truly believe in. So what I'm trying to say is this, guys, community is key. And I would highly suggest you guys and, challenge you. It's up to you. Take on the challenge if you're not. But I would challenge you to really get connected with just again, someone in this call or someone just on the team, somebody, and actually really develop and continue the learning of just trade talk. Because that's how you get better. I think when I met Vinny, this guy, he freaking would never really talk like that. Like he was, shy to himself. Just like he was more like an observant person. Like you go in a room and Vinny's like this, just kind of observing, looking around. And I think that was like the biggest thing that I was like, okay. I shook Vinny's hand. I said, "How you doing? My name is Neri." He said, "Hello, I'm Duffel Blackburn." And I was just like, I was like, "Yeah, bro, like, what got you into trading? What got you started?" And like he was just so quiet, But now Vinny can't be quiet, in a good way. Vinny just talks too much. Vinny likes to score on people. I'm just playing. Vinny likes to I'm just playing, bro. But now Vinny loves what he does, and what does he do? He loves to communicate and actually break down levels the way it is. So it's like if you take the before and after, two complete different people, you're like, bro, how? Because you learn more from experiences, guys. You learn more from the experiences, and this is what it takes within trading, guys. This is what it takes. And there's going to be a lot that you're going to need to put in on the line. Guys, drop a number one in the chat if you feel like, you're putting everything on the line right now within trading. But again, only drop a number one if you feel like it, okay? Don't drop a number one because everybody dropping a one because that's like sheep follow sheep or whatever the code is. I don't know what it is. Blindly blind. Just because you're just dropping number one. Like, honestly, drop a number one if you genuinely feel like you're putting everything on the line. That you're like, bro, this or nothing. This or I'm gonna figure it out. And then drop a number two if you're like, well, I'm just, I have something else that I'm really focused on, but I'm willing and obviously I'm wanting to learn and make, trade an extra source of income, but I have another whole thing like going on. And that's fine. Okay, that is totally fine. A lot of you guys are, dropping number one in the chat because you're putting everything online. And I believe it. Because the ones that are dropping number one on the chat are the ones who are consistent on the calls and the chats and everything like that. And if you ask yourself, well, how can I put everything online, or what does it take? It takes your commitment. It takes the focus. And it actually takes a lot more than you think. And guys, I'll end it off with this because I know we didn't really go too much in the charts right now because tomorrow I'm going to be doing a call as well, like full hour on back testing, and we'll even go more into depth with that, more in the chart works because I got some really, really, really nice things to really share with you guys when it comes down to everything. But the biggest thing, guys, I really truly want you to understand is that if you want to make this also a skill that it does pay, and it does, get you what you want, you have to treat this like a job. Again, people are going to be like, I heard that too, Neri. I've heard that too. Stop repeating the same thing. Well, let me ask you this. Who in here, and who knows, okay? If you work a job, like if you're going to miss work, right? If you're going to miss work, what is it that you do when you're going to miss work? Okay, call in. Do you go MIA on them? Do you just never show up again? Because time off. Okay, you call in. Cool, cool. I guess we only had 3 people that work your job. Okay, so don't show up. We got Jennifer that got fired. Okay. So, okay, cool. You just don't show up. And guys, this is what you do. Obviously, you call in. You got to really treat it like a job and things like that. And so, man, they're throwing all the jokes today. My bad. My bad. Today's gonna be like, and this is who's gonna help us at the trade locker. I'm just lame, man. Oh man. She's like, this is the girl. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys, is this. You have to treat it just like a job. Inside the focus group, guys, like that I'm hosting with a few people. I have them do this. And anybody in here, It's fine if you think this is corny. It's all good because by the end of 3 months, you're going to see the results. But what's going to happen here, and I have them do anytime I'm hosting a call and they cannot make it, I asked them first and I said, guys, can we, do you want to make this as a real income? They said, yes. Will you treat it like a job? They said, yes. Whenever you miss a call, you have to call in. You don't have to give me an excuse. I don't care about the excuse. Just let me know. And a lot of people are going to be like, that's a little too much, Neri. Is it better to actually let people know in advance or go MIA? When you go MIA, I'm assuming like, well, why did I put you in this focus group then? Why did I put this? I could have put somebody else that actually really wanted to do something like this better. And so at the same time too, guys, is this. I would highly recommend y'all to start changing the way how it is that you actually do things here inside calls that you show up for. Okay, I'm just suggesting. I'm not telling you what to do. Because who am I, right? Like, really, honestly, who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just Neri, your friend, right? That's all I am. But what I would say is this, guys. Anytime, the way you show up to calls, the way you do things, the way how you want to, quote unquote, say that you want to take this up to the next level, you have to do what it is that you're saying. And those calls, guys, like I make them, and again, I'm not making them, like I let them know, hey, let me know if you're not gonna make on the call. If you don't make it, just call in. Hey, I'm calling in because of this reason. I won't be able to show up. Right? In the chats, I have them. If every time I who in here, right? Raise your hand. I'll be the first one because this is me. But in inside calls, like if someone says, hey guys, what is this right here? Like anybody in the chat, answer this. What movement is this? Anybody in the chat?
Consolidation.
Okay, cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, out of 43 people, only 4 people answered. So I'm gonna assume that okay, cool. Awesome. There you go. So this is a prime example right here, guys. I would have assumed, right, before I named a number out, I would have assumed only 4 people knew and 43 people didn't know. Because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna assume that people don't know. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna assume. So whenever you answer, it gives the person or even just whoever's helping you an idea. Okay, cool, they know. Because what happens when I did in the beginning stages, if someone asked me a question and I already saw someone answer, I'm like, oh, well, why answer? They already answered it. No, but I was like, no, I'm gonna let the person know who's actually on this call, let them know that I know the answer. Because if you don't know it, then you put it in the chat. Action-based results, right? Action-based results will get you to where you want to be. Again, it could be a lot of work, Neri. You're doing too much. It's okay. By all means, I'm doing too much. It's all good. Because, I did too much to get to where I'm at. And I say it in the most nicest way. I literally mean it. I'm really hoping I'm not sounding like a bee right now. But I'm saying it in a way because I had to really set the bar up for myself. I'm just letting you know what I did. And like I said, the way how I probably lead and mentor can be probably a little tough. It could probably be a little tough and I'm probably not your person. And that's fine. Because guess what? We got about 50 other people that could really help you out. And that's fine, man. I'm not for everybody. But what I always say is this. I do it not because I said it, because you told me. I asked you if you want to treat it like a job. You said yes. I asked you if you want to make this an income. Yes. I asked you if you want to do whatever it takes to get there. Yes. I asked you. And all of you guys, I asked all of y'all. So if that is what it is that you want to do and get it up to the next level, guys, then I truly believe within the next 3 to 6 months, you will have an exponential growth, right? You have an exponential growth inside the powerhouse. And I'm just so happy and grateful that you guys decided to partner up within the community to really take in every single thing to really learn this, guys. So that's why I truly believe within these next 3 to 6 months, if you do the following things that I've said, then you'll be able to see and achieve a lot of things that you more than you think. My people who've been in for 1 to 3 months, get ready, right? Statistically, you're supposed to quit, but we're going to go against the odds because you're going to be focused on how are those 10 people making it. If you're in 6 to 9 months, statistically, you're supposed to quit, but you're going to ask yourself, okay, how is it that 10% people survived? Statistically, if you're 1 year through and a half, you're probably going to quit. And it's fine. But you ask yourself, how is it that 10% actually people make it? And with your second year, you're probably finally breaking through that mental, right? That mental breakthrough. Of course, you'll probably have questions, but that's statistically what happens. But go against the odds. Go against the odds. And I'm telling you, because realmente yo digo la verdad, right? Realmente I am only here to let you know what it is that I know and what I hear and what numbers say, not what Neri says, but what statistics say, right? Simple as it is. But guys, drop a number 1 in the chat if this helped you out. I know it's a little bit more different, and I know y'all want probably like, there's no chart works. No worries. Luckily tomorrow, 10 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Pacific, we will be going more in depth with like the trades and like obviously like chart works and things like that. Tonight was really more so just really setting your expectation. We went from about 53 people to now to 43 people. Statistically, that happens. And that's fine, you know, transparently. You will have numbers drop because few things. Either the person was busy or the person got zoned out. And that is what happens with inside trading. And these are real things that happen in real actions. So guys, if there's one favor, right? If there's only one favor I can ask you, right? Hopefully it's not too much. But if there's one favor I can ask you guys is inside the chat, right? Inside Powerhouse chat, drop just one thing you learned. Okay? Just one thing. Right? It may be a little bit too, I hope it's not a lot to ask for, but just one thing. Because that's your first assignment, to see if you take action on what it is that we just learned tonight. Other than that, guys, Vinny, I'll pass it back to you, bro, or we can just close it out from here. But guys, I'm excited for tomorrow, and for everybody who is going to be going to the Traders Lock-In, you guys will be having a nice treat, and it is going to be the next level information and really just rocking it and getting everything running up. But other than that, guys, Vinny, I'll pass it back to you, bro.
Let's go, man. I honestly don't know what to tell you guys. I told you I didn't know what Neri was going to talk about, but bro, she is so wise when it comes to the psychology side of things, and that's something that I don't really tap into as much because I strictly trade off of confirmations and just understanding what I have to do next. But guys, I told you, Neri, when she goes in, she goes in. There's nothing we can do. Like when she starts talking, I mean, she's like me, bro. Once we start nerding out, I mean, we start drifting into space. And then if it's something that you need to hear, it's gonna click with you. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, guys, make sure you guys tap into her call tomorrow, and I will see you guys at the Traders Lock-In Miami, baby. Let's go.